Today, we're diving into a hidden superpower that every single one of us already has, the power to truly see the world around you. Seriously, it's the one skill that connects geniuses, detectives, and top performers, and I'm going to show you exactly how to unlock it. So let me start with a question. Right now, are you just watching this screen or are you observing? Because believe me, there is a huge difference between the two. And that difference? Well, it's a superpower that's just kind of lying dormant inside you. Think about it. When we were kids, we were masters of observation. It's how we learned everything, how to walk, how to talk, how to read emotions. But as we get older, that power just fades away, buried under all the noise of daily life.
All right, let's see how sharp your observation skills are right now. I've got a little riddle for you. Listen really carefully and try not to get distracted by the details. Okay, here we go. You're flying a plane with 20 people on board. An engine catches fire. There are 12 parachutes. 6 people jump out, and 2 of the parachutes just fly away. So, how old is the pilot?
Did you get it? The answer is your age, whatever age you are right now. Why? Because the very first thing I said was, you're flying a plane. All the numbers about parachutes and people, that was just noise designed to pull your attention away from the one crucial detail. That's the difference between just hearing words and actually observing. But listen, that riddle isn't just a fun party trick. It actually points to a really fundamental truth. This ability to separate the signal from all that noise, well, that's the foundation of almost every great discovery and breakthrough in history. It's what separates the ordinary from the truly extraordinary. You know, Marilyn Vos Savant, who has one of the highest recorded IQs ever, she put it perfectly. She said, to acquire knowledge, one must study, but to acquire wisdom, one must observe. Knowledge is about facts, right? But wisdom, that deep understanding of how the world really works, that comes from observation. And this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a pattern you see again and again. Da Vinci didn't just paint a portrait. He observed the tiny, almost invisible curve of a smile. Newton didn't just see an apple drop from a tree. He saw a universal law of gravity at play. And as we're about to see with Safin Hassan, this skill is just as critical today. Check out Safin Hassan's story. On the surface, it looks like he passed one of India's toughest exams with just 1 year of studying. But that's not the real story. The real work started 4 years earlier, in college. He wasn't just buried in books. He was intensely observing other candidates, figuring out what made them succeed or fail. He was out there volunteering, observing the real-world problems he wanted to solve. So when he ended up in the hospital right before his final interview with 0 time for last-minute cramming, it didn't even matter. He just drew on 4 years of deep observation and ended up with the second highest marks in the entire country. That's the power we're talking about. So if this skill is so incredibly powerful, why are most of us, well, kind of bad at it? The answer isn't that we're lazy. It's actually hardwired into our brains. Every single second, your senses are being bombarded with this much information. 11 million bits of data hitting you from every angle. What you see, what you hear, what you feel. It's an absolute flood. And out of that massive 11 million bit flood, how much do you think your conscious brain can actually process? Just this, 40. Not 40,000, 40. That means you are aware of less than 0.001% of what's happening around you. Your brain, by necessity, has to be a filtering machine. And this super powerful filtering system has a name. It's called selective attention. It's your brain's way of deciding what's important right now and just tuning out everything else. It's a survival tool, for sure, but it also makes us blind to most of reality. There's a famous experiment that shows this perfectly. They have people watch a video and count the number of times a basketball is passed. Because their selective attention is so locked in on counting, most people completely miss something totally absurd, like a person in a giant chicken suit walking right through the middle of the scene. They were looking, but they weren't seeing. But the biggest filter of all isn't just what your brain chooses to focus on out there. It's the constant, non-stop chatter inside your head. We can call it the thought cloud. Worrying about tomorrow, replaying something that happened yesterday, all that mental traffic is the single biggest enemy of clear, present observation. Okay, so we get the problem. Our brains are designed to filter reality, and our own thoughts are a constant distraction. So how do we fight back? How do we reclaim this superpower? Well, we start by consciously building and furnishing what you can call your brain attic. This idea of a brain attic actually comes from Sherlock Holmes. He imagined the mind as an empty room. A fool, he said, just clutters it up with any old junk they come across. But a wise person is intentional. They carefully choose only the most useful tools and information to put in there. It means you have to consciously decide what to observe based on your purpose and your goals. But, just deciding what's important is only step one. So you've chosen the right information for your attic, but how do you make sure it actually stays there? How do you get it to stick?
The secret is an ancient trick called the memory palace. See, your brain is actually pretty bad at remembering random lists, but it's brilliant at remembering places and weird stories. This technique combines those two strengths. So, to remember a shopping list, you might imagine a giant carton of milk answering your front door, and then a loaf of bread doing backflips on your sofa. The crazier the image, the better. By placing these strange scenes along a path you anchor them right into your memory.
All right, we've gone through the why and the how. Now let's pull it all together into 5 real, concrete practices you can start using today to seriously level up your observation skills. Here's the whole framework. 1, actively use all your senses to gather data. Don't just look, listen, smell. 2, build your focus. Be deliberate about what you let into your brain attic. 3, use tools like the memory palace to actually store what you observe. 4, you have to be present, which means finding ways to quiet that thought cloud. And finally, 5, have a go-to tool like box breathing to snap your focus back in an instant.
And here is that tool. It's called box breathing. It's used by Navy SEALs, surgeons, you name it, anyone who needs to stay calm and focused under extreme pressure. And it's so simple. You just breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold it for 4, breathe out through your mouth for 4, and hold on empty for 4. Just a couple rounds of this can cut right through the mental noise and bring you back to the here and now.
And once you start getting better at this, you can take it to a whole other level. The philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti gave this advice: observe the observer. What does that mean? It means turning that power of observation back on yourself. Start noticing how you see the world. What are your biases? What does your thought cloud keep drifting back to? This, right here, is the path to real self-awareness. So, you have the tools now. You have everything you need to start cutting through the noise and seeing the details, the patterns, and the opportunities that 99% of people just walk right past every single day. The only question left is, what will you choose to see?